I just monetized this YouTube channel in the past 7 months, and I'm going to tell you the top 5 biggest mistakes that I made on that journey, as well as give you a look into some of my analytics, because who doesn't like to see the analytics of someone else's YouTube channel? I mean, come on. I created this YouTube channel April 4th of 2007, and then uploaded my first video in October of 2008. That's basically 18 years ago, only 2 years after YouTube even became a platform. And so I'd say my first biggest mistake was not starting earlier. And while I did upload about 70 videos over those 17 years, these were just fun videos with friends, personal projects, film projects from college, the kind of things that, if I'm honest, are fun to look back on, but I'm really glad that the internet doesn't have access to. As the famous Chinese saying goes, the best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago, and the second best time is today. I at least have to give myself credit for starting this year. Now, this second big mistake that I made, I kind of made knowingly, and that was not picking a specific niche. Now, all the YouTube gurus will all say the same one, is that you gotta pick a niche, you gotta pick a lane, gotta do that. And they're kind of right, actually. There's probably not a faster way to tank a video is then for YouTube to send it to the wrong people and then for them to not watch almost any of it. I mean, I started off making binaural beat experiment videos, and then later on I'm making how to cut a line videos. I mean, how much more confusing can you be? It's better to have a wider niche and to continue making videos than to have too narrow of a niche and to burn out in 2 months. But definitely having a more specific niche would have grown my channel a lot faster in the beginning. I really think of YouTube like a flywheel. It really has to get going, and when it serves your videos to that initial audience, if they don't watch it, respond, and interact with it, then it's basically gonna tank your video and kill it pretty quickly. And once you get that flywheel going, it's a lot easier to keep it going than to revive a video that's dead. Just checking the focus. Looks good. Now I'd say the third biggest mistake that I made was not focusing enough on my packaging, my hooks, and my loops. Now obviously everyone knows that your thumbnail is super important because, let's be honest, if people don't click, then they don't watch, which is very true. And while your thumbnail is kind of like your advertising to get people in the door, if you don't have a good hook that keeps them there, and then also good curiosity loops that happen throughout the video, then they're probably just gonna walk right back out the door and not stay around very long. And now at the first part, I think I also spent a little too much time focusing on my click-through rate, feeling like that was the most important metric. But in reality, the most important metric in YouTube is your retention. So once people are here, make sure that you give them a really good hook at the beginning and then open other curiosity loops along the way to really just kind of keep them in your video. Now, I know I didn't do a very good job at this in my first video as I rambled on for about 1.5 minutes before I really got to the point. So that's something I'm definitely working on for other videos. Let's move on, shall we? And before I get to the last 2 things I learned, here's the part where I ask you to like and subscribe to the video if you haven't already. It means so much and helps the channel out immensely, so from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Let's also jump into the analytics of my channel right now, just so that you can hopefully get some deeper insights into how my channel was monetized, and that it can help you on your journey as well. If you want to skip ahead to the last 2 things I learned, you can of course do that, and the time code is right here. Now here we are on the analytics. As you can see, I have about 36,000 views, 4,000 watch hours, and 900 subscribers in my last 7 months. Now, if we go into the live count here, and of course I did get a boost. I started out with around 90 subscribers. And as you can see, they kind of just grew slowly. There's a few spikes here on some of the videos where there was a few more that pulled in some extra subscribers, but it basically was just a slow growth all the way up to 1,000 subscribers, which is quite nice. All right, so we're in the advanced mode of YouTube Studio now, and I'm gonna show you an overview of kind of some of the stats behind my channel. I'm not gonna go through all these different ones, but a lot of people usually focus on the views, how many views they get. At this point, what I'm most interested in is my click-through rate, and more importantly, I think, my impressions. So as you can see, my views, the highest one I had was the 3,000 views for that. Honestly, this 3 Hertz binaural beats pure tone one was the key video that helped me get monetized in this short amount of time, because as you can see here, that led to 64% of my watch time hours. Quite early on, this one kind of hit the algorithm when I was doing my binaural beats experiment for 30 days. And when that happened, I was using this as part of the experiment, but this one really just hit the algorithm early on and got a ton of impressions and quite a big spike in views and contributed to so much of my watch time. Now, as you can see, the impressions, I used to think that click-through rate was one of the most important things because it seemed like if the click-through rate was a certain amount, then it would give me more impressions. But when I looked at some of this click-through rate stuff, you'll notice that the impressions for click-through rate are kind of all over the place. You'll see that there definitely is some correlation between a higher amount of impressions and click-through rate here. But if we scroll down, we'll also notice that some of these lower click-through rates also got quite a high amount of impressions. Like as we go down here, even this one that had 1.4% still got 6,000 impressions. Now, of course, one thing that's important to look into the analytics of this is the quality of those impressions. Sometimes I'll notice a video that seems like it got quite a bit of impressions, actually got the majority of its impressions from suggested, and those are really low quality impressions. Suggested videos have a very low click-through rate and really don't help for getting it. What you want is the browse impressions. Now see, this video is great because it got quite a bit of the impressions from its browse features and barely any from suggested, which is great. That's where you want, and that's how you're gonna get definitely more views compared to other videos. Now this poor video, 2 minutes and 20 seconds of useless information, is an example of the opposite, where if you look on here, 50% or less than that of the impressions, only about 1,400 impressions came from browse, 4,300 came from suggested videos, which is one of the lowest quality impressions. So because of that, this video just really tanked. It looks like it got a decent amount of impressions with 6,000, but as you can see, it got very few high quality impressions, which is kind of disappointing that YouTube did that. And so as you can see here, my impressions kind of fluctuate all over the place from a bunch of these different ones, from very high to not too much. And so, but the impressions really, that's some of the ones that you really want to look at and see how well a video is doing, if YouTube is really pushing your video and continuing to push your video. Now, actually the most recent one that I posted, the calendar that everyone hates, about your life in weeks poster, that one got quite a bit of impressions, but when I did go into that one, it did seem to have more suggested rather than browse impressions, which was kind of disappointing. But as you can see, there is a correlation. The more impressions you get, the more likelihood that you are going to get more views, because that is how primarily people find videos on YouTube, is through impressions. I've got almost 500,000 impressions here over the past 7 months, and as you can see, a majority of them have gone to more recent videos. But then of course this wallet one and the Nexus one, those I posted early on. They didn't do too well, but what those did well was they ranked well in the algorithm, and now they're consistently getting 10 to 20 views a day, and they're still getting 200 to 300 impressions. And that is something that you really want to get. You want to get videos that rank in the algorithm so they continue to draw views. Many of these videos that I had posted actually are barely drawing any impressions and have basically stalled out totally in the algorithm. Now, as you can see, the watch time is over 4,000 hours. I haven't actually hit that yet. Actually, recording this video, I'm not monetized yet, but I should be monetized in the next couple days, and that's when I'll post this video. But it's just because YouTube kind of lags on their watch time hours. It takes about 5-6 days for them to validate those, and so it's a little behind on my most recent watch hours. And as you can see, 64% of my watch hours came from that one binaural beats video. That's the reason I got monetized. It took off at the beginning and gave me a huge proportion of my watch hours. All right, so I posted my first video on this channel like December 28th. That was almost a month ago. It's January 24th. And I was thinking that watch hours would be the biggest difficulty, but check out where the channel is right now. Look at that. We're literally almost halfway to the amount of watch hours that we need. See that? 999% more. 999% more subscribers, because my channel sat at the same amount of subscribers like the whole time. 45,000 views. 45,000 more than usual. This sounds about right. As you can see, I posted that first video there, and I just gave me a little blip and then basically didn't do much. And then this is where I posted the binaural beats ones I was going to use, and then this is the one I posted talking about that. And around that time, the combination of those two really kind of split off the views here. And I posted a couple other ones that aren't really doing well, but basically all of this traffic is coming from one video, and that's my 3 hertz one right here. That's all the traffic that it's coming from at that moment. So I was kind of thinking the watch hours would be
issue. But I guess that just kind of happened with what I stumbled into. I was just interested in binaural beats. I was reading a book, got me thinking about it, looking into it, decided to do the challenge. And so then I was like, well, what the heck? I'm gonna upload the tracks that I'm gonna be using, and then, you know, I'll at least be using them on YouTube. And it seems like one of them in particular is pretty popular.
I'm not saying that that's a strategy that you should use, but it definitely happened to work out this time. If that one had not hit the algorithm, I would still be in the same boat as everyone else. With around 1,500 watch hours, I would still have quite a ways to go in that regard. And then for subscribers, there's a few videos that garnered around 50 subscribers, and that would be my channel intro, the like experiment that I did, and the binaural beats one. Those all gained around 50 subscribers. And then beyond that, those kind of just trickled in on some of the other videos. But a lot of the growth has just kind of come slow and steady over the time of this channel. And as you can see here, I'm not gonna go through the rest of these, but my average view percentage over the whole channel is almost 10%. Not great, but the great thing is that can still be improved. I'm not gonna go over all the rest of these, but I'm just going to here scroll down slowly so that you guys can check those different stats out. If you just want to look at any of these for any reason, we'll just let you kind of look through those different ones. But now I think some of the most valuable things that I learned looking through my analytics was that click-through rate is not the most important metric. It really is more the impressions you're getting. And those impressions need to be high quality impressions. So the most important metric, as you've probably heard, is retention. How long do people stay and watch your video? People are staying for the full length of your video. That's the most important thing that signals to YouTube that it should push this video out to more people. So that's the most important thing to optimize for, is your retention on your videos. And with that being said, let's stop fluffing around here and let's get back to the last two biggest mistakes that I made on this journey. All right, now the fourth biggest mistake was definitely not creating systems early on. Let's face it, YouTube is hard enough. And if you're not developing systems to make each subsequent video easier, you're just asking for it. Here are a few easy things that I definitely would have done differently. If I'm gonna spend multiple hours getting set up with all of my video equipment to make a shot, I need to be filming a few different videos at a time. When I'm shooting thumbnails or B-roll, I need to be having an archive that all that goes into so I can easily access it for future programs. I need to have template projects that are already created with pre-made sequences that already have stuff lined up so I can just plug the new stuff in and get going. Plus having all my graphical effects, sound effects, all that kind of stuff already preloaded and searchable in the project is a must. Make things easier on yourself by spending the time to get things organized now. It'll pay off big time long-term down the road. And the last biggest mistake that I made during this time starting a YouTube channel is poor value to length ratio. Respect people's time, be concise, have good value in that time. And on that note, I'm gonna end the video right here. So thanks for subscribing earlier and check out this video, you might like it. We'll see you next time, fam.